Hello, lovely ladies, and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be about the types of people you should avoid on your level up journey. And when I say people, I'm referring to women. Because let's be honest, not everyone around you is meant to grow with you. And as you evolve, your circle has to evolve too. And a huge part of becoming the woman you are called to be is by learning who is nourishing your elevation and who is weighing it down. Now, I did make a video talking about the types of people / women you should be around when leveling up. And I figured, let's make a video talking about the people you shouldn't be around. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of grieving that comes with this when you are on your journey towards your growth or you slowly feel called to your path, because you have memories of these people, and also those memories, there's going to be some good and there's going to be some that are not so good, where you have to really do a further and deeper analysis. And I find myself asking, Camille, why did you stick around these people? And the answer was that I wanted to continue to see the good in them. I wanted to hope that they would see past their behaviors or acknowledge their behaviors, their choices, and their actions that were poor, and learn from that. I had to check myself and be like, no, Camille, these people are not like you, because I think women have a tendency to be around women that they believe are like them, when in reality, not everyone can see the world the way that you see it. And that's okay. Everyone's journey is unique. We don't all learn lessons at the same pace. And I think a lot of women tend to think that way, which as a result keeps them in these types of relationships where they're stunting their own growth based on the people they're hanging around. And just know that if any of these things that I say trigger you, please look inwards. I think that our triggers are our biggest teachers. It's going to open up new pathways, new mindsets, and it'll help us not be so emotionally stunted in certain areas of our growth. So let's get right into it. Starting off strong, we have the competitive friend who is disguised as the supportive friend. She may clap for you, she will celebrate you, but low-key wants to outdo you. And she's in a constant silent competition. It's like you can be doing good, but not better than her, because then she feels smaller, inferior, and inadequate to you. And you know what? I'm not going to make this only applicable to women, because for this point specifically, I think also men are capable of this, especially in romantic relationships, where he may feel a sense of inadequacy and inferiority, and it'll affect his ego. But let me digress. Now let's take it back to late 2019, early 2020. I got featured in a magazine. It was a spread about sneaker collectors in the city, and I was the only woman highlighted and featured. Whenever I get a win, I only promote it when the results are in and when it's complete. So I remember being around a group of people who were all content creators in my city. And once I got that magazine feature, I noticed that the people around me at that time started to distance themselves, right? They all saw my story. They all saw me announce it, because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of myself for being featured in a magazine. And I could just feel the energy of animosity from these people, to where they started to separate themselves. They wouldn't invite me out to events or to outings. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I thought we were all on the same page. I thought we were all creative. We all had unique talents about ourselves. Why are you feeling a way when I get featured in this big magazine and I have my own spread, right? Because now it's going to make me feel smaller. Are you guys keeping score? And what happened was that these people completely separated themselves from me. And by the way, please don't see me as a victim in any of this. This is just something that I've noticed, especially as my journey as a creator and in my professional life, is that the more wins you get, because more wins came from that magazine feature, and the more wins you get, the more you check off your goals, you're going to see who is going to be around to support you. It can be lonely and devastating. But it let me know that, Camille, you should be around people that are more successful than you, who have been in business longer than you and have more knowledge than you, because they're not going to see me as competition, and neither will I. Up next, you have the gossip girl. She always knows the tea, but never her own purpose. She thrives off of drama, chaos, group chat debates, and other people's downfalls. But then here you are focused on building a life of purpose, peace, and cultivating a life for yourself that is meaningful. And I find that when you're around the gossip girl, the energy is draining. And this is how you can tell. Whenever you're around somebody and when they leave, if you feel drained, depleted, uninspired, that is a clear indication that that person's energy is draining you. Okay? Because gossip, it might feel entertaining in the moment, but what that does is that it distracts you from your mission to now you're carrying all of that energy within you. So the key is to stay focused, to stay clear, and maybe say, look, I don't know why I'm being told this information. It's not my life. I would much rather talk about things that are more impactful, meaningful, and are sustainable. Why am I listening to gossip about somebody that I don't even know? And also, how does that person feel? If I was that person and I found out that my personal business was being spread around the city or amongst people that I trust, I would not feel comfortable and I wouldn't feel safe around them. So mind your business and go do something with your life. Find other creative ways to make money. Develop a hobby. Develop a activity that is going to be meaningful and impactful in your day-to-day life. I love going for walks. I love doing yoga, going to the gym. I took my first Pilates class last month, and even in the midst of uncertainty, because that's where I'm at in my life right now, I like to look at small things that I can do that can create an impact, that can set me up to receive the next blessing that's meant and intended for me. Gossip does not bring blessings. Gossip does not bring joy. Gossip does not bring me peace or comfort. It does the complete opposite of that. It's draining, and it can stay in your mind and spirit for a while. So maybe find ways to transmute that energy, or maybe just say, hey, I take this energy back. It doesn't belong to me. Up next, we have the play small girl who projects her limiting beliefs onto you. Now, ladies, come to the front. This is the one that's going to be the most detrimental to you, because this is the person, or this is the girl, I should say, that calls your goals too much, or your dreams that are deemed as being unrealistic. It's not that they're too big. It's just that she can't see herself dreaming that big. So what she tries to do is talk you out of it. She's scared of growth, and she fears that she's going to lose you because you've decided to take it a step further and dream bigger, because that's going to cause her to do that. And believe it or not, there are people who are afraid to dream big because they believe that these dreams are unattainable and that they're impossible. But when I tell you, everything that you believe is impossible can be possible. When I started my company back in July, I went, 3 or 4 months without a client. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is never going to happen. I'm not going to have my big breakthrough. Well, lo and behold, my first client, I should say, was a nonprofit organization from another city. So they not only wanted me to create content about a huge event they were hosting that was basically on the level of a conference, they were willing to fly me out, pay for my ticket, pay for my hotel, and also have me sit on a panel where I talk about being an entrepreneur in the creative industry. And I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't know something like this was even possible and attainable for me. And I didn't know that I had so much value and knowledge when it came to being a content creator and a new entrepreneur. So I was scared, yes, but hey, I took it. And so what happened was that it became a domino effect of more blessings and more opportunities that headed my way. And it let me know that, look, any dream that I have is attainable. I'm gonna get 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I don't know how, but I will. I would love to be on a billboard. I would love to have a TED Talk. I would love to be flown out to another city to be on a conference and to sit on more panels. And I would love to work with a huge hair care brand. And if that makes me crazy and delusional, well, I guess I'm crazy and delusional. But what you're not gonna do is call me those things when those dreams manifest into my reality. Don't dim your light to keep someone comfortable in their shadows. Let them live there. Up next, we have the negative Nancy. Now, this is someone who is always complaining, always bitter, always pointing fingers, but never looking inward and taking accountability. These people don't believe in change because they've never had to choose change. And the moment you start evolving, you'll be called too positive, fake, and oh, you've switched up. When in reality, what they're saying is that your evolution is making me uncomfortable. And understand that this is not your burden to carry. They have their own burdens to carry. And what you're not going to do is carry their burdens. And as women, I'm sure we can all pinpoint a time in our lives where we had a girlfriend who was like this. And it's almost as if we weren't even a friend. We were more of the unpaid therapist, and they only kept us around because we were the only ones that were willing to listen to them complain and always not take any responsibility for their choices and actions, and just being an audience member. And it hurts because you spend so much of your time trying to uplift this person and to introduce them to new perspectives, but they just don't want to do it. And like I said before, their journey is not yours. If they choose to complain and not find effective solutions, whereas you are able to find solutions, well, then why is this person around you? Because with solutions, it allows you to grow. It allows you to be creative about your problem-solving abilities, and it gives you more options to exercise. And if this person doesn't want to do that, well, then they shouldn't be a part of your journey. I should also add that these people tend to mock therapy and not seek resources that can help them with their issues. They believe that shadow work is too deep, and anything that is spiritual or requires them to be on a path of alignment, they tend to look down on that. Whereas if you're on a path of inner work, you can't stay close to people who refuse to look within, because you'll start to outgrow the conversations, the behaviors, and eventually the connection. And that's probably one of the hardest things I think I've had to do when letting go of certain connections that were just being an anchor in my life. I understand venting because it gives us free expression to a strong emotion that we have within us, but to continuously do it over and over again with no solutions, well, who and what is the common denominator in all of this? Because you're letting yourself know that you're comfortable there. Nothing grows from comfort. I know the grieving process can be quite, how do I say it? It can be quite intense. It can be very deep, and you find yourself reliving those moments in your head, but don't sit in it forever. Just learn the lesson, apply it forward, and develop wisdom out of it. Now, I'm going to offend some people with this last point. However, it needs to be said. The extreme social justice warrior. Now, understand, advocating for justice, equality, and speaking truth to power is so necessary. And I have so much respect for women who care deeply about the world. But there is a difference between being passionate and being constantly combative. These are women who turn every single interaction into a battle. And their identity is rooted in being very outwardly angry. There's no softness, no nuance, no room for joy or femininity to exist. It's very hypermasculine energy that's being masked as being strong. And when you're a woman who's on her level up journey, rooted in peace, self-regulation, divine feminine energy, and increasing discernment, being around that type of energy can be absolutely daunting. I say this because I used to be very deeply involved in social justice. I was protesting way before the George Floyd situation took place. I was protesting when there were small crowds, and I remember just getting very passionate. But that passion turned into anger, resentment, and bitterness because there was no room for me to be soft, to be feminine, to rest. And I was so strong to the point where it started to burn me out. It was showing up in my work. It was showing up in my content creation. I was having a very hard time disconnecting, and I was always tying my worth and my value to being that strong, combative, extreme social justice warrior. And the truth is this, because I want to talk to the Black women, because Black women do this a lot. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to carry the weight of the world on your back to be powerful. Sometimes the most radical thing a woman can do is rest, be joyful, bask in her feminine energy, and just move with grace. Something I love to do during this time is to color. If you come to my place, you will see a stack of coloring books with markers, and I just lose myself. It makes me feel like a little kid again, and I watch Korean dramas. And that has been the most transformative thing I have ever done. And I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into your next season. Some people are aligned with the old version of you, whether you were a people pleaser, whether you were stagnant, and whether you were just there for vibes. But as for you, you're not her anymore. You're entering a stage of alignment, of purpose, of power, and you need people around you who match that energy as opposed to blocking it. If this video resonates with you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.